Welcome back to Pulse Central. I'm Mason, and today we're looking at some of the creepiest stalker story times on the internet. These stories start off normal, but each one takes a disturbing turn that nobody saw coming. Watch until the end. Let's get into it.
Scariest stalkers are not the ones that are obsessed with you. It's the ones that are obsessed with your significant other and think that you're the only thing in the way between them. I actually had a little stalker incident after the Netflix show came out, and they made us take a class before it even dropped telling us that people were going to get like weird parasocial relationships, we could have stalkers, and just like basically like safety on what we could do to avoid that. And I don't know why I didn't really think that that like applied to me. I think I forgot that I went on the show when I started like posting on social media after, and that was not a good idea. It's not even the type of stalker that you're thinking. It wasn't they were like obsessed with me. It was actually they were obsessed with my boyfriend that I met on the show, and they had convinced themselves that I was the only thing in the way of them being together. And it was really scary because the Miami police, the San Diego police, and the Texas police like couldn't actually do anything until they actually like did something to me. But this man was calling me and texting me on all these fake numbers, sending me my addresses. I didn't realize how easy it is to get somebody's personal information online by like very minor details, like just honestly a name. Also, it didn't help that I started getting like 6 million monthly viewers on Snapchat, and I didn't realize that those are actually people. So I'm over here doxing myself, like posting pictures of my dog running to my apartment with my full apartment number in it, and you could literally just like tell the building that I was in from my location. And I'm pretty sure I had said what building I had lived in, and take it as a lesson, because the only reason that he kind of developed that parasocial relationship is because we were nice and we would like answer like if there was a fan edit or something cool, be like, oh thanks, and just like being good people. But now I can't answer random people like I used to because it turned into that. You're gonna think I'm dumb because after all of the threats of him killing me, killing my dog, killing my family, I still got vulnerable with this stalker, told him this was not like him. Like I talked him out of jumping off of a ledge, but I really think he was just lying about doing that because he wanted my boyfriend to talk to him, and that wasn't gonna happen. The scariest part wasn't even that he lived 30 minutes away, so these threats were like very much valid and like doable, but it was that he hated me. Like he didn't love me. It wasn't like, oh, he wanted to be with me. It was like he wanted to be with my boyfriend. Yes, he was a gay guy. He wanted to be with my boyfriend. So he actually had all this anger and resentment towards me. And my boyfriend literally lived across the ex-boyfriend literally lived across the country. So it's not like he was going to get to him. So the only way he had to take out his mental anger was on me.
This isn't the kind of stalker story you'd expect. The obsession wasn't with her, it was with her boyfriend, and she became the target. Listen to how quickly this turned into a real-life nightmare.
Yo, I have a stalker, and I'm scared for my life. Okay, backstory. So, this girl has been stalking me. Yes, it's a female. Has been stalking me since August of last year. Before August of last year, actually. So, backstory. I had a boyfriend, right, last summer. It wasn't supposed to happen. The relationship was not supposed to happen. It was really just like a summer fling that turned into something more, you know? So fast forward, whatever, we're dating or whatever, and he tells me about this ex that he has that's kind of crazy, that he broke it off with her and they don't talk no more. So I believed him, and he actually did show me the messages and everything, showed me that she was blocked and all that, saying that she was gonna ruin his life, whatever. And then he had posted me one day, and I guess she responded to him, or like her spam or something like that, and was like, you lucky I'm having a good day, or else I will ruin your relationship. So I really didn't think nothing of it, because I'm like, I'm not intimidated by that girl. Like, she don't live where he lives. Like, I was not, like, I didn't care. And he said he was done with her, so I believed it, and I took his word for it. So we're dating, whatever. And we broke up around August of last year. But this girl didn't know that, right? She didn't know that. So before we broke up, right, this girl literally was stalking my every move. She didn't follow me on social media, but obviously she knew my page, because my page pops up places, and I was commenting on his pictures and stuff like that. So y'all, this girl literally freaking, mind you, she lives in Miami. I live in Miami. My ex-boyfriend lives in Maryland. So this girl literally would go on my page, look on my shit, and literally this girl literally found out what lash tag I went to and started going to her. And mind you, me and this lash tag, I don't go to her no more, but me and this lash tag was really cool. Like, we was like hanging out outside of like her doing my lashes and stuff, so we would talk on a personal level. Yeah, why did she find out what freaking lash tag I went to and try to get information out of my lash tag about me and my ex? Like, my lash tag would literally tell me everything. Like, she was asking about this. She said, first of all, she told my lash tag that she knew me, like we were friends or something. Like, and so I'm like, huh? Like, this is not my friend. I don't know this girl from a can of freaking paint. Like, I know that she's my ex's ex, but nothing like that. So after she went to my lash tag and started freaking going to people that I was getting my service providers from, like my service from, I'm like, oh, this girl is weird. So then I started to see this girl outside, like out in Miami, because I would be going out and stuff like that. I would see this girl everywhere. Everywhere I would see her, she would be staring me down like a psycho. I seen her at the bowling alley. I seen her at this outside of this little lounge thing. When I seen her outside the lounge in Wynwood, y'all from Miami or live in Miami, y'all know Wynwood, whatever, Dunkanu. I seen her right outside Dunkanu, and I was with my cousin, I was with my friend. She was with her friend. As soon as she seen me, she turned to her friend and was like, oh my God, and like started laughing. Like, you know, like, it was so obvious that she was about to tell your friend you see me. But I'm like, is it giving fan or is it giving stalker? Because I don't know. And I've not seen the girl out again. Y'all, I recently just seen this girl out last weekend, and we was in a section. I don't even know how she got in the section, first of all. But she was in a section with me and my homeboys or whatever. And I didn't see this girl the whole time, because I was in the section the whole time. I didn't see her the whole time. So I'm like, and she was standing beside me the whole entire time, y'all. I didn't even realize it was her. Like, it's crazy. And then as soon as we about to leave the section, she taps me. She's like, oh, I think I know you. And so I'm kind of like lit. So I'm not even paying attention to nobody's face for real. So I turned to her. I'm like, no, it isn't you, bro. No, it's not you. Y'all, this girl literally is fucking stalking me. Like, I'm like, yo. So as soon as she was like, oh, I think I know you. What's your name? And I was like, Lara. She was like, oh yeah, I know you. And I turned to actually look at her face. Y'all, it was her. And I was like, oh no. And I literally like put my hand on her face and like left the section. But it's like, I'm kind of scared, because why are you doing all this over a guy? Or are you just a fan? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even date the guy anymore. Please leave me alone.
Imagine your ex's ex knowing everywhere you go, even after the relationship is over. What started as jealousy quickly turned into something way more disturbing.
Instagram coming out with the location feature reminds me of why I had to turn my location on Snapchat off. So I'm gonna tell you the story of how I kind of had a stalker because of Snapchat location. Back when I got my first job at my first Chipotle location, there's this guy there who was training me. His name, we're gonna name him Ryan. He was like this, at the time, I thought he was cute, like little Hispanic man. He was like a year older than me, and I had just gotten out of a relationship, bitch, and I was single and ready to mingle. It's safe to say that I had the biggest crush on this kid, like literally ever. He was that kind of guy where he was an asshole, but he was an asshole enough to where it was like kind of funny and like kind of like attracted me a little bit. Do you know what I'm talking about? My type is assholes. I don't know, I can't help it. Anyways, but even though he was kind of an asshole, he was like one of my first friends that I had made there, because he, you know, he was training me. Didn't get super close, but I took a liking to him. But unfortunately, he had a girlfriend at the time, so he eventually like quit and we stopped having communication and blah blah blah, whatever. That was back in 2019. Okay, so let's fast forward to, it was either end of 2023 or like beginning of 2024, because my TikTok was just starting to kind of take off a little bit. Obviously, he wasn't with his girlfriend at this point, and we had rekindled. I can't remember if it was like on a dating app or if it was just through Instagram because he followed me or something like that. I don't know, but we started talking again. And at this point, like, I was entertaining it because I was bored. I wasn't talking to Mr. 5'3" anymore, you know, so I needed some hoes, but I really wasn't gonna do anything with him just because I wasn't like attracted to him anymore. You know, when you really like somebody a long time ago and you're like, damn, like this is the most attractive person I've ever seen, but then like a couple years pass by and it's like they finally want you and you're kind of like, ew, get away from me. That's how it was, but I entertained it anyways. Remember, he kept like begging me to basically like see him and stuff like that, and I kept like kind of like, you know, finding excuses not to. And one day he was talking about like smoking me out or something like that, and I had made a joke. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like me saying I'm down at some point, not that specific night. I swear this man like has a fucking pee for a brain. He took that as me saying like, yeah, come over right now. Mind you, I've never given this man my address. I had my Snapchat location on because I always had it on. I never really thought anything of it. So 20 minutes or so roll by. All of a sudden I get a text from him and he's like, hey, I'm outside. I'm like, what? Mind you, bitch, it was late as fuck at night, okay? And in my apartment, you can hear literally everything that goes on outside. So I heard a car pull up, but I didn't think anything of it, obviously, until I got that motherfucking text. And then I could see the fucking bright ass light shining through my apartment. I'm like, oh, hell no. I cannot make this shit up, y'all. He used my Snapchat location to find my apartment, to pull up on me without even asking me. And then like 15-20 minutes of us going back and forth of him like trying to come inside until I finally heard his car pull off. Like, oh my god, that is so fucking weird. And I remember I took him off of literally everything. I started leaving him on delivered and stuff like that. And I remember he texted me one night. He was like, did I do something wrong? Are you fucking stupid? What do you mean, did you do something wrong? Yeah, so basically since then I've had my location on every single app off. They asked me to say I'm kind of traumatized.
She never shared her address, but somehow he still showed up outside her apartment. One small privacy setting turned an old crush into a real-life nightmare.
One time I was severely stalked in high school because my teachers in high school decided to go on strike for 2 months, as they should, because they needed to get paid more. But I ended up getting a stalker because of it. I honestly didn't realize how much it impacted me until I got to my adult years, and now I'm scared that everyone is going to be a stalker. And it honestly traumatized me. Like, I didn't realize it was like such a big deal until I got older. But anyways, let's get into it. My teachers ended up going on strike for like 2-3 months, right? But I was like an A+ student, so I ended up going to work or going to school every single day. Like, I literally did not miss a day. I was like, the students need me, so I ended up showing up and being a tryhard. And there was this science teacher that replaced our old science teacher. We called them scabs, and they were essentially like designated babysitters, and they really like, I don't know, they knew enough, or maybe they were substitutes, but they definitely were not qualified for the job. So I show up to class every day, and I had class with some of my best friends, so we would always like mess around with the scabs. We kind of like bullied them, but he like thought it was funny and thought we were like hilarious. And for some reason, he was like really intertwined with me and my best friend that ended up going to college with me. and I didn't think anything was weird. He wasn't giving off weird energy while we were in class, but it got weird when my teachers came back. 2 jobs in high school. I was a hostess at my friend's family Mexican restaurant, and then I also worked at Skechers. I know, shape ups, I did it all. And he would show up to my place of work in different like disguises. Like one time he showed up in like this weird ass beard, so I didn't recognize him. And then another time he showed up to the Mexican restaurant in a weird hat and a hoodie, and I didn't recognize him at first, but he would sit there and watch me, and it wouldn't be until I noticed that he would leave the property. So obviously that would scare like any 16-year-old, and I started getting like really freaked out, but I didn't really know who to talk to about it. So honestly, I just like let it go. I don't know why I did. Looking back, I definitely should have acted sooner, but I just let it go. So I go off to college, and I go to a school in Michigan, and there is just like no way he would have found out on his own like where I lived. But somehow I got sent like these weird ass weights and then a postcard that said something about Ohio. Like, I seen that you've been bashing Ohio on Twitter. Hopefully this like lightens your mood. Love Ohio or something. And then I got flowers sent to my Michigan workplace, and it was also signed off by Ohio. And I'm like, and I had not posted about my new workplace. So I'm like, what is actually going on? And in my head, I literally didn't think it was him. Like, for some reason, I still didn't think that he would do something this crazy. But then I moved to Chicago, got flowers signed off by, you guessed it, Ohio. But then those were the only flowers I've received in like 2.5 years from Ohio in Chicago. So I just let it go again because I didn't know who it was. Then I moved to Nashville in a brand new apartment complex. No one knew that I moved, okay? Like, I picked up everything on a random Tuesday. Told my mom like the Friday before that I was moving. Like, no one knew that I was really moving. So like day 5 of me being fully moved into my apartment, my friend was living here at the time, and she was like, hey, like she was like walking into my apartment complex, and she's like asking for my name or whatever, and he was like, oh, can you send these flowers up to her? So she calls me, she goes, hey, someone like sent you flowers. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, no one knows I live here other than like you and my family. And she was like, yeah, they're like signed off by Ohio. And I'm like, what's going on? So I was swapping out furniture, and I go to my Facebook Messenger, and I see these messages. I'm gonna post them right here. It was so incredibly creepy. He pretty much was saying that he's been like watching me. He reached out to my friend and told her he was in love with me. Like, it was actually insane behavior. And he had a name very similar to my best friend at the time's name, and it was just all very bizarre. Reporting him to the police, but of course they didn't do anything. And then I told him to stop contacting me. I tried to put a restraining order, but they said that those messages seemed innocent, which they definitely were not innocent. And then I literally went on with life and never heard from him again, but had to literally block him on everything. And then I'm in cybersecurity, so I found out different IPs and numbers that he was using, and I blocked him on those too. But I didn't realize how much it traumatized me until like my adulthood, where I think like I literally can't go on a date with someone thinking that they're gonna kill me. Like, I don't want any date to know where I live if I don't know them personally. And it's definitely a protective mechanism, but literally insane. Like, I had no idea how bad the trauma was until like 10 years later. I know.
She thought it ended after high school. Years later, the same person was still finding her. What started as unwanted attention turned into a nightmare she couldn't escape.
This is very different from my normal content, but I just wanted to come on and share a situation that happened to me in high school. I basically, to cut it short, one of my high school teachers, or a teacher at my high school, was stalking me. I feel like even just saying that line, my heart started to race more, because honestly I haven't talked about it in a while, and it's been almost 10 years since this happened, so I've had time to process. But it's a crazy experience, so I wanted to share. So senior year of high school, I got a job at my local grocery store. It was my first official job, and I was super excited. Of course, I was also, a senior in high school, so I was applying to colleges, all of that fun stuff that comes with your senior year. And basically, this teacher at my school, who I had never had any classes with, he was one of the PE teachers, and I was in high school sports, so I never took our, general PE classes at school. So I had never seen him before, never had any contact with him, didn't even know this man. So one day I was on my break at my job at the grocery store, and I just so happened to not bring my lunch or bring a snack that day to work, so I was down in the deli section waiting in line to buy a sandwich. And this man comes up to me and says, "Are you Kelly Bayer?" I'm like shaking. And at the time, I said, "Yes." And he said, "Hi, my name is, and I am your scholarship advisor from high school." I guess I can say my high school. It was Wilson High School in Long Beach, California. But anyways, he says, "I am your scholarship advisor. I've been looking for you." Which, mind you, these scholarship advisors were not allowed to take any personal information outside of school property or school grounds, obviously, but this man did. So at this time, I was still at the deli counter waiting on my sandwich, and one of my coworkers behind the counter, this woman, she said, she said, "Oh yeah, he's been coming up here all the time asking where you are, showing your picture, wondering where you are." And to that, I was like, what? So at this time, I just say, obviously, like, "Hello, nice to meet you, glad you found me," type of thing. But in my gut, I was feeling so weird about it. Mind you, every time he came into the store, because after I had met him, he was coming in almost every day that I was working there, but he would wear sunglasses so I could never see his eyes. And he wasn't just doing his normal grocery shopping. All he would buy, I vividly remember, because I was a cashier at the grocery store. He would come through my line, and all he would buy was a banana and a Snickers bar. That's not normal grocery shopping. That's like, he just came there to see me. One day I remember I was working, I was on the clock walking around, picking up items or putting something away in the grocery store, and we had a Starbucks in our grocery store, and he was like, "Oh yeah, since I'm helping you, by the way, this is my favorite Starbucks order, so you can buy me Starbucks." And at that point I was like, okay, at that point in like this whole situation of him coming in, I was basically trying to avoid him, obviously, because I felt very creeped out. But to wrap everything up, one day, of course, I had told my manager about this, and one day I was working the cash register, and my manager was great. She said, "Okay, the next time he comes in and he comes through your line, call over the speaker and switch spots with me." So, lo and behold, of course, who would have guessed he was there? He comes through my line with his banana and his Snickers, and I'm like shaking because I'm helping someone check out with their groceries, but I see him come in my line. So I call over the speaker, we switch out, I go into our back office, and my manager's manager or boss was in there, and he called the police, and the police came, and he was not allowed back in the grocery store. And I had also, of course, told my family about this, and my dad and my grandpa, they had come to my shift that day, and they were waiting in the parking lot, and I don't know why I'm like almost starting to cry. It's just really scary. But anyways, when he was walking out, my dad and grandpa went up, and I don't know what they told him. I'm sure it wasn't anything nice. But yeah, it was just really nice that my dad and grandpa were there to protect me. But anyways, I brought this to the school, of course, and one day in class, the principal called me up to the office, and if you know Wilson High School, it's a 4,000 kid school. So when you're called to the principal, like, you know, people know, and I'm a good kid. I had never been called to the principal's office, so my heart was racing. But anyways, the principal at the time just had me write a report, and apparently this teacher had worked at a school prior in the district and was, not allowed to work at that school anymore because of some inappropriate conduct that he had done with other students in the PE/sex ed classes. So anyways, all that to say is, if you have a gut feeling, or if you're just feeling off, if a teacher or someone is being weird, tell everyone you know, and be your own advocate. Thankfully, everyone that surrounded me at my job and at school and my family were all really supportive, and I'm very thankful for that. But I feel like I wouldn't say it's like a chip on my shoulder, but I feel like I've been, like, I don't know, I just see the worst in everyone and don't trust anyone until they've earned my trust. But in situations, if I'm alone anywhere, I'm always looking over my shoulder. I really never think anyone has good intentions, especially men, because you never know, and unfortunately your gut does know, and a lot of the time they don't have good intentions. So I never thought anything like this would happen to me. You never think something like this would happen to you, but it's really crazy and it can happen. So ladies, stay on your guard, trust your gut, and love you so much.
She thought it was just a teacher checking in, until he kept showing up at her job almost every day. The truth behind his visits is far more disturbing than you'd expect.